for Tuesday, May 30, the 150th day of 2023. There are 215 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Long holiday weekend is behind us. What comes next? Well, we'll talk about that and more coming up here on In the Know. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Lexington. He's Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. You made it through the weekend.
It was busy weekend.
By the way, I mentioned Lexington. I assume you're going to give us an update from Lexington a little further on in the segment.
We can if you'd like.
Got some news coming out of Lexington today pertaining to high school tennis, so we'll tell you about that. Last time I saw you, we parted company from Cougar Stadium at Grayson County High School on Friday evening. We got the class of 23 sent off with the right amount of pomp and circumstance that they deserved. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, and then Zach and I spent all weekend in Louisville judging a speech tournament. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they trusted us to judge.
Who's they?
The National Catholic Forensic League trusted Zach and I to be the judgment of debaters.
Okay, so you all came from the category of last resort?
Well, see, what's interesting is that, they pulled Zach in for like the first round of the playoffs, but I was the semifinals.
Oh, okay.
So I think they had to
bring
wait
out the big guns.
Yeah, they had
the
to wait for that. But
right,
no, it was a very busy weekend though because of that.
Yeah, I guess so. Did you? I saw. By the way, the graduation ceremony at Grayson County High School was great. It was perfect weather. The crowd was great. Anyway, it came off beautifully. I did see there's a school. Lot riding on graduations. You do them annually, so you don't get a lot of practice at them, but you learn from year to year. Jacksonville, Florida, there was a group of outraged parents from the Jean Ribault High School, I'll call it, or Ribault High School. And their caps and gowns showed up just a couple of days before graduation, and they said the class of 2022 on them, and not the amount of time to change them.
Well, see, what's interesting is my high school graduation, when I got my cap and gown,
yes,
our school seal, Cooper, was spelled copper.
Oh.
And I went up to the person that handed it out, and I said, I think this might be a problem. And because it was just mine that had it that way.
It was just yours?
Just mine. Yeah, because you don't get to keep yours at mine. So it's a one-time thing. And I kind of went up and I said, I think this might be a mistake.
Yeah, probably want to throw that one back and get a new one. But I guess they were misprinted. Now, I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of schools try to get them a month or so in advance, because students have them, that you can spot any potential problems. You probably don't want those showing up the day before graduation. But anyway, no snafus like that at Grayson County High School, and I'm happy about it. Weather-wise, so I hope you enjoyed what was a beautiful weekend, because it's going to get warmer as the week goes. We're going to top out at 82 today under partly cloudy skies. That's here in Litchfield. We'll see an overnight low of 62, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible overnight. Tomorrow, 83. Then just step up to 84 on Thursday, 88 on Friday, 90 on Saturday, 89 on Sunday. And so there we are. Going to see the temperatures, obviously, for Louisville Metro are a little bit higher, but get a 3 in 10 chance of rain tomorrow, 3 in 10 chance of rain on Wednesday, 20% chance on Thursday, then dry again until maybe an isolated shower on Sunday. Looks like maybe not significant rain until maybe next Wednesday. So that's going to be, June 7, 8, something like that. So also today, as the unofficial kickoff to summer, being the Memorial Day weekend, June 21, is still the official arrival of summer. But the summer season is underway, and that includes a lot of highway projects that they've been holding off on. And we've had a plethora of those in our community, and another one begins today. Bridge work on the Grayson Springs Road, that's Highway 1214, Western Kentucky Overpass, is beginning today. Chris Jesse says that the overlay work starts today along 1214 over the Parkway, reducing the bridge to one lane with alternating one-way traffic. Sulphur Wells Road is also closed at Grayson Springs Road, meaning you got to backtrack to Bloomington Road and then back over to 259 to reach where you're going. So there are signs up. Just be prepared. They're expecting this to be about a 30-day project. I travel that from time to time. I used it the end of April, and I noticed what terrible condition that particular bridge was in. So they are giving that some attention that is required. I saw apparently the debt ceiling deal has been reached, but it still has to make its way through Congress, got to get its way out of committee, and then be voted on by the full Congress to figure out what America's doing financially moving forward. I also kind of laughed at, there's this list of Russia that Russia has, including like Andy Bashir and people that are not welcome in Russia ever again because of comments they've made. The latest, Russia actually issued an arrest warrant for Lindsey Graham over comments being pro-Ukraine. So Lindsey Graham is wanted by the long arm of the law in Russia, which just kind of makes me laugh. Like, okay, all right, we'll see. All right, local news headlines. A Litchfield man arrested a month ago on drug charges has again been jailed on a drug charge being found in a vehicle behind an apartment complex. This happened late on Sunday. The LPD responded to a complaint at a complex on the 800 block of Mill Street. The caller told 911 a truck containing a man who does not live in the complex was parked behind the apartments. The suspect, according to the caller, appeared to be either asleep or passed out. They made contact with 34-year-old Christopher Lester, who was in a Chevy S10. They located multiple pills during a search. He was arrested and lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center and charged with a lengthy list of various things. A convicted murderer who escaped from an Ohio prison and led police on a 5-day manhunt near Henderson has been found in the Ohio River. The body of 50-year-old Bradley Gillespie was recovered from the river Sunday afternoon near Henderson after a boater spotted his body at approximately 1:30. Gillespie, along with 47-year-old James Lee, escaped from the Allen Oakwood Correctional Institution in Lima, Ohio, either last Monday or Tuesday. They concealed themselves in a dumpster to make their escape, and they're last known to be inside the prison at 8:40 on Monday morning. Early on Wednesday, in Henderson, police pursued a vehicle containing the two escapees, with the chase ending in a crash. Both men fled on foot. They caught Lee, but did not find Gillespie until later. So authorities were, they had a bunch of rewards out. I didn't realize that was going on all of last week. Did you know this was underway?
Yeah, I saw some stuff about it. Wednesday, but last week was so busy that I was kind of out of it.
Yeah. A Pulaski County teenager died after a vehicle entered Lake Cumberland. It happened in Somerset, and it was at the Clifty Creek boat ramp about 9:30 after a vehicle drove into the water. Another of the vehicle's occupants made it to safety and was unhurt. So a teenager lost their life in that accident. Not sure what led the vehicle to drive into Lake Cumberland, but nonetheless. Fish and Wildlife Coroner's Office investigating and leading that accident. Sunday was the 46th anniversary of one of the, for a long time, it was one of the biggest fires of its kind that had ever happened, and happened here in the Commonwealth. And the closer you are to being from northern Kentucky, I think the more likely you are to be familiar. But Sam, do you know about the Beverly Hills Supper Club fire?
Of course.
Yeah, I assume that you were likely. That claimed 165 lives, and they have now erected a permanent memorial. It was dedicated on Sunday in a ceremony that inspired memories of the deceased and tributes to those who fought the fire and tended to the injured. The Beverly Hills Memorial was dedicated along US 27 at Memorial Point Drive. before a crowd of about 300 on the anniversary of the 1977 fire. They had moments of silence, prayers, solemn sound of a bagpipe, provided the backdrop for an emotional and appropriate afternoon of remembrance. Yeah, that was a hard one that was a tragedy without a doubt, but has left an impact on that community and now a permanent memorial.
A lot of conspiracies with that too, with the mob and everything.
Yeah. That property was like 80 acres.
Yeah, and it's sat vacant for forever. They've tried to do some things, but have always had pushback.
Says it's being transformed into what's called Memorial Point, a residential community being developed by the Ashley Builders Group in conjunction with Vision Realty Group. I guess they've decided maybe that was their, for lack of a better term, I'll call it a peace offering. Maybe they said, if we'll get some cooperation on developing this or repurposing this, we're going to dedicate a permanent memorial that will be there so that what happened here was not forgotten. So it seems like maybe they're moving forward. Horse Racing's Oversight Authority will hold an emergency summit today with Churchill Downs, the Racing Commission, and some veterinary teams to review information and analysis in the wake of 12 horse fatalities in the past month at the home of the Kentucky Derby. HISA, which is the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority, announced yesterday it will also send track superintendent Dennis Moore for a second independent analysis of the training and surfaces. Equine Safety and Welfare Director Jennifer Durenberger will provide additional veterinary expertise and oversight of horses at Churchill Downs. Their review will begin. They're meeting today. The review begins tomorrow, and a real head scratcher on why it was so deadly at Churchill Downs during the meet. Kentucky baseball, for just the third time in history, will host and serve as a host for the NCAA regional set for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at Kentucky Proud Park. But good luck if you want to go anywhere near Lexington, because it is packed. All the hotels are booked because of is Railbird this weekend?
Yeah, Railbird, you've got state softball, state baseball, state track,
tennis.
state tennis.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
and they are having to house the NCAA teams in the dorms at UK.
There's no other option.
Because the Sweet 16, the KHSAA already knew they were hosting attendees from across the state, so they gobbled up a lot of the hotel rooms. Then, because Kentucky wasn't known to be a regional site until the results were known, then they were sort of late to the party, and they're having to scramble. Speaking of state tennis, good news out of Lexington this morning.
Yes, Owen Brown has already competed this morning. He started about 7 a.m., and he picked up the win in the first round against Meade County's Peyton Johnston 6-0, 6-1. So that's a pretty dominating victory. He'll be back on the court here in just about 2 hours at 11 a.m. Central Time, so it's noon in Lexington against Apollo's Stetson Osborne, which is kind of interesting to me that he has the ability to play somebody from Apollo so early on in the...
How they seeded that out. He'll basically have to defend his regional championship in the second match.
Correct. And I do know that someone from Edmonson County is well advanced, so this area is doing very well in tennis, but if Owen wins that, he would then play again tomorrow morning, bright and early, in what would be the Sweet 16, I guess. And then
the final
Lucas
16.
Pierce and Griffin Powell will play a little bit later on this afternoon. I believe that's maybe 1 o'clock.
So at K105 Sports on Twitter is probably the best place for you to follow along and keep track of progress coming out of Lexington for the Grayson County High School tennis team. I sort of thought that the Celtics were going to pull off the miracle and mount a down 3 games and a comeback to knock off the Heat, especially being at home, because you always have some type of advantage at home, but that was neutralized by the Heat. The Heat advanced to playing the Nuggets. Do we care anything about this series?
Yeah, I'm not a big NBA guy. I mean, you got, Bam, and I know technically Tyler Hero, even though he's injured, but he hopes to be back against Jamal Murray, which at least adds, I guess, some intrigue that you're going to have a UK guy win the title no matter what.
Yeah. Denver rested up. They've been able to game plan.
And now is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's you never know. They might be a little rusty coming out of the gate, but at least they've had a chance to recover. Long season, you get beaten up, banged up. So I think the rest probably has to do them some good so long as they stay sharp. That series gets underway almost immediately, I think. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got plenty more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Rising prices are everywhere, from the gas pump to your electric bill. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives understand that these times are challenging. That is why we're doing all we can to keep your rates competitive and service reliable. We also have programs that provide options to help you manage your bill. To learn more about what we're doing for you, go to togetherwesaveky.com. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. togetherwesaveky.com.
Swarm season. It's here. Will bug problems drive you crazy this year? Litchfield Exterminating are reversal experts. In other words, we drive bugs crazy. Via Bugology Hypnology, we create tiny pest zombies. Just call us Litchfield Hypnobugologists. Say it 5 times and all your problems will still be there. Since zombie bugs aren't in demand, call the #1 service in South Central Kentucky, Litchfield Exterminating.
Call Litchfield Exterminating 259-6285.
Beach Bend Park. That's where my summer happens.
It's where my family's come for generations for great times.
It's where amusement rides and water park slides are just my size.
It's where my friends and I have a blast on the big thrill rides.
It's where we can do all the attractions and not spend time in long lines.
Beach Bend Park has something for everyone, from classic amusement attractions the whole family can enjoy, children's rides, to big, fast, sky-reaching thrill rides. Plus, cool off with Splash Lagoon Water Park, where you can relax in the lazy river, ride the waves, and take the plunge on slides from mild to wild. Come to Beach Bend Park to create some memories, including fireworks back for Friday Night Lights in July. It's where you can have unlimited thrills with a 2023 season pass for just $74.99 with unlimited visits, a free souvenir cup, 2 anytime bring a friend free tickets, discounts, and more. For daily specials, birthday parties, and hours, visit beachbend.com.
Beach Bend Park. Fun for the whole family. Beach Bend Park.
Ford Motor Company has secured a deal with Tesla to expand access to vehicle charging stations in North America. CEO Jim Farley joined Tesla CEO Elon Musk late last week to announce beginning next year, Ford EVs can use the Tesla Supercharger network. Ford customers will gain access to 12,000 sites in 2024 and will be getting an adapter that will fit the Tesla V2 superchargers. The automaker will begin building their EVs in 2025 with a charging port that eliminates the need for an adapter. Currently, drivers of EVs cannot use Tesla charging stations due to the difference in plug design. The CEO of Palo Alto Networks says artificial intelligence is going to help him double his business with fewer hires. Nikesh Arora told CNBC's Jim Cramer that AI will drive the cybersecurity industry very soon. He believes any large company can make the transition with a few thousand employees rather than increasing scale in proportion to the size of the business. And artificial intelligence companies like NVIDIA are leading to a resurgence of tech stocks. Tech Report, Mark Meek.
You say you're sorry once again, you want me to take you back once more. You say
Today is Mint Julep Day. Yeah. I can't stand mint juleps.
I tried that for the first time this past Derby Day.
It's terrible.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
A little bit of mint in anything goes a long
Are you not
way.
a mint fan?
I like it a very small amount,
Okay.
just too dominating. It is Water a Flower Day. Whew. Lots of flowers being watered at our house. It is. It's almost like a full-time job.
You don't have to do it though, so that's not a bad thing.
Oh
right?
no, I'm the backup water crew. I mean,
No,
if watering needs to be done, I'll have to. I jump right in there.
You haven't trained Leia for that yet?
No, she's usually got some type of excuse on something that she doesn't want to do.
Well, she's not in school anymore, so she's got.
That's true. It's World MS Day, and it is Hole in My Bucket Day. Dear Liza, dear Liza. That's actually what it's about. Is the song. Well, what shall I fix it, dear Liza, dear Liza? It's swimming pool season now. So you'll probably be headed to The Litchfield Aquatic Center is open now, so it's going to serve as an opportunity all summer. You might be invited to a pool party at someone's home. Here are some faux pas that you should not commit when heading out to the pool. Whether it's a private pool, a hotel pool, a resort pool, the aquatic center. So just be careful. 1, jumping in when you're dirty. There's a reason they put those showers over there. So you get all dirty and then you go jump in the pool. Well, somebody's got to try and keep your pool clean. So don't do that. Showing up with a contagious condition.
Is that not just life in general?
Yes, it definitely is. This is a good guideline for all of life. Don't use a public pool if you have a contagious condition. For example, a fungus.
Well, yeah.
That's even more than the, sniffles or.
If you got something going on, don't go in there.
That's right. Just go to the lake instead. No, just
jump in the Ohio River. Hey, anything will probably kill it in there.
That's true. Do not use the pool as a toilet.
Yes. Well, that's goes without being said.
Do not do that.
Should go without being said.
Do not bring glassware. Glass not welcome around the pool.
Mm-hmm.
No glass, because glass hard to get rid of. And
bare feet.
The pieces that are left behind are the most dangerous. Those little bitty shards that you can't see that you get into. Hogging the lounge chairs. Now, this is always a debate on cruise ships, too, because you get what people call the chair hogs, where one person wakes up early and they go and reserve about 6 loungers by the pool, and then they don't show up until noon to use them. And the cruise industry and the tourism industry and as a whole has started to crack down on these things. If your chairs are vacant for 30 minutes, then they'll, collect your stuff and you can come get it later. Leaving kids and pets unsupervised. A lifeguard is not a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that.
Especially the ones at the Litchfield Aquatic Center.
That's right. They're not babysitters. You're still responsible for your child's behavior and their safety. I think this one also falls in the category of goes without saying, but probably should not assume. Fully disrobing.
Like skinny dipping?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Coverage is expected, by the way. So try to respect the dress code rules and norms.
No Speedos allowed?
If there are children around. Yes, the world could do with less Speedos. Splashing and jumping around strangers. Yeah, just because you want a cannonball doesn't mean the other people in the pool want the byproducts of your cannonball. Look before you leap. Ignoring lap pool protocol. If your pool has lanes for lap swimmers, remember to follow proper etiquette around things like entering, passing, pausing, lane sharing, exiting, etc. Disrespecting boundaries. I don't know what it is about kids, but kids will just, they'll swim underwater and then they'll pop up and they're in your grill all of a sudden. It's like, who are you? Get away from me. Like, wouldn't kids want to stay away from people they don't know?
The water. They can move faster, I guess.
Making excessive noise. Oh, it drives me crazy. The people that insist that I want to hear their music. Like, I can make my own playlist. And in fact, if it were okay to do that, I would be making my noise.
Well,
and then sharing it with you rather than, because I'm sort of do music for a living and I have more experience than you, but I don't do that. So you shouldn't either.
I will say though that that should not be a problem at the Litchfield Aquatic Center because
it should not be.
Usually it is us playing above the
and so
loudspeakers.
That's good. By the way, good morning to everybody at Litchfield Aquatic Center.
Yeah, I don't know if they're there. Yeah, good morning.
Oh yeah,
they're open right now. Yeah.
Well, might not technically be open, but they're preparing for a big day.
We can't wait. Hello, shout out to you all.
Excessive noise, not putting your shoes back on to go inside. So you're dripping wet and then you go inside somebody's house and you're not wearing shoes. And so, and in the hotel too, nobody wants to see a trail of water that you've just left behind. And then if you're
Unless
somewhere,
you're just running to the restroom.
if you've had somewhere that has a full service snacks or beverage service at the pool, don't forget those people are working hard. They're relying upon your gratuities for a living. Do they have snack bar runners at Litchfield Aquatic Center? Do you know?
That I don't know, but I do know that I don't know if they're still having the pizza this year, but Zach and I tried it when we were there last year, and it was pretty good.
I think many of us are probably also getting into the sunscreen drawer for the first time in several months. Does sunscreen expire? Well, we'll tell you in just a moment. What does SPF mean, and which type is best? So what are UVA and UVB rays? Ultraviolet rays are the form of electromagnetic radiation which comes from the sun. There are three forms: UVA, UVB, UVC. UVA rays emit the least amount of energy of the three, causing the skin to age and potentially lead to some skin damage. UVB rays emit more energy than UVA rays and cause direct damage to DNA in the skin cells. And UVC rays emit the most amount of energy of the three types of UV rays. So when you choose an SPF, you probably want to consider, is it helpful on UVA, UVB, UVC, or all? And obviously you would want to lean toward UVC. So, yeah. Different types of sunscreen. There's the once a day. There's the water resistant. There's the sunscreen with the insect repellent. That's a nice bonus to have. And yes, sunscreen does expire. The shelf life is about 2 and 3 years. So if you've had it for more than 3 years, its efficacy is probably starting to wane, and you might want to not put as much stock. I kind of settle somewhere in the 30 range on the SPF. I just sort of kind of split the difference and say, I don't want to not know that I was here, but I also don't want to be burnt to a crisp. You may also be looking for a beach to travel to, and I have found the top 25 secret beaches.
I guess they're not a secret anymore.
That was my question. I thought, well, if they're being shared with us and we're sharing them with the masses, will they be a secret? You will not be surprised to learn that the majority of them, nearly all of them, are either California, Florida, Hawaii.
Oh, not Kentucky?
Not Kentucky, believe it or not. The Gray Whale Cove Beach in California, the Driftwood Beach in Georgia, the Caladesi Island in Florida. We looked that up last week, didn't we? Bowling Ball Beach in California, Enderts Beach in California, Lowell Point Beach in Alaska, Amsterdam Beach Preserve in New York, Kiowa Island in South Carolina, Crescent Beach in Florida, San Jose Island in Texas, Sandbridge Beach, Pa'ako Cove in Hawaii, Navarre in Florida. Navarre gets a lot of love.
I don't know how secret that is.
Yeah. Hollywood Beach in California, Grays Beach in Hawaii, Boneyard Beach in Florida. Then the top 9, the Dry Tortugas National Park in Florida, Wildcat Beach in California, Salt Creek Beach in California, Lovers Key State Park in Florida, Sedge Island, New Jersey, Kaupia Beach in Hawaii. Top 3, Lanikai Beach in Hawaii, Shell Key Preserve in Florida, and Oahu Beach in Hawaii, number 1.
There's really one from Alaska on there.
There is.
I don't know that would have been my first guess of
Lowell Point Beach, Lowell, in case you want to look it up. All right.
I'm giving it a Google now.
If you use any of these 9 phrases every day, you're more emotionally secure than most, according to psychologists. Sam, do you feel like
I'm
you're
distracted by Lowell Point. It's 52 degrees there right now. There's nothing more about going to a beach than when it's 52 degrees.
Yeah. That 1 week a year where it gets above 70 degrees would be great at Lowell Park Beach. Do you consider yourself to be emotionally secure?
Oh, that's a loaded question. In this industry or any of us?
I guess, yeah. It's a good question. Number 1, let me think about that before I respond. All right, I can see advantages to that. Number 2, no. Do you know people that have a hard time saying no?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Number 3.
No's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's not. Sometimes it's a self-preservation statement. Number 3, I'm not comfortable with that. Number 4, this is who I am and I'm proud of it. That's kind of like what you see is what you get. Or number 5, am I like that? Emotionally secure people are able to consider criticism without lashing out. If they receive negative feedback, they don't take it personally. Instead, they see it as an opportunity for self-improvement. Number 6, I will work on that. Number 7, I'm sorry you're struggling. How can I help? Number 8, this matters to me. Number 9, I will try. That's the last one. You use those phrases every day, all 9, don't you?
8.
8 of the 9 is no one of them.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've even had conversations with friends about that. Is sometimes, like, it'll be, if you're at someone's house and they'll be like, here, would you like to try this? Sometimes I will, if I don't want it, it's just like, I'm not going to take it just to be nice in some instances. To me, it's better just to sometimes say, no, thank you. You would enjoy it a lot more than me.
Gotcha.
It's like if somebody comes to me and says, here's a BLT sandwich, would you like it? I'm going to say, no, I would not. I'll take the BL, but you can take the T.
We were out harvesting some tomato cages last night to get the tomatoes ready for you that I know you're going to be so excited about.
You can, you know what? You can just take them and...
You said no? No tomatoes.
You can maybe find one of your rabbit friends and give them to them instead.
Do you know any pickleballers?
Pickleball Paul that always calls into KSR.
You don't know him personally?
Well, I feel like we do now. He talks about it. I know a couple of friends that have started to or have done it a couple of times. I played it, I think, in high school. I think now just like in gym class.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I could consistently say that I'm a pickleballer.
I would enjoy playing pickleball, but now I'm a little bit... I think it's too popular that now if I joined it, I don't want to be one of those joiners that goes, well, where have you been? So I think I'll wait for everybody to move away from pickleball, and then maybe I'll jump in there when it's no longer a thing and I'll enjoy it. Because I enjoy tennis, but I certainly would enjoy it having... I like it bigger than table tennis. I don't like it as big as real tennis. I would kind of like it the in-between size.
Mm-hmm. You're not Owen Brown, but you're not a...
I'm not Forrest Gump, and I'm not Owen Brown. I'm somewhere in the middle.
I think that's probably fairly accurate.
But apparently people now are getting on board with kickball for adults. So just like everything, it becomes a trend, and pickleball now seems to be waning a little bit, and people who are seeing people like me get in the pickleball ranks are going, it's too crowded, let's go find something else to do. And they're saying, let's do kickball.
What you're saying is we need to start the K105 Summer Kickball League.
Yes, I love kickball. When we would play kickball in elementary school, it was the best day in PE playing kickball.
I think you need to get a team, and like Norman Chaffins gets a team together and see who wins.
All right, that might not be.
Or put the judge
idea.
against Sheriff Chaffins, Judge Henderson.
Judge might figure out how to come up with some ringers. We don't. But then again, it needs to be fair.
The sheriff's got the brand new bionic knee too. You never know what kind of extra.
Yeah, he's good as new. He's Steve Austin, $6 million man. So yeah, do you remember my kickball infamy in Caneyville Gym? Have you ever heard this story? We were playing. So in the old gyms, they had the cages that protected the lights so that balls couldn't hit and so I hit a kickball and it went up and hit the ceiling and it hit a light that was out and the light turned on.
Really?
I was like, look, somebody didn't have to climb up there and turn that light back on. I hit the light and it came on.
I know that the rule was for us in that is if it hit the ceiling, you were out.
Yeah, it was a silver lining. Yes, I was out, but I fixed the light, and I thought, I deserve a hit for that?
I don't know if it was the same thing as yours, but if you kicked it and it hit off the back wall, that was a home run.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On the fly, yeah.
Oh, you were going for the stage. The stage at Caneyville is where you wanted it.
We didn't have the stage.
Where you wanted it to end up. Speaking of school days, you've probably seen this circulating online. This is what's being described as the weirdest way to lose a state championship. So was this in Georgia?
I've seen it float around, but I've
No,
been
it's in New York.
Been
It's
so busy this weekend that I hadn't been able to have the time to process it.
Palmyra Macedon High School won the Section 5 Class B1 championship in New York after it initially appeared their final batter struck out to end the game. The strikeout part happened, but Hornell Senior High's catcher dropped the third strike. First base was vacant at the time, so the catcher reached out to tag the hitter, but the home plate umpire ruled that the tag was never actually applied. And so the Hornell Senior High, he doesn't throw out. He thinks he's tagged, but he doesn't throw on down to first base for good measure, and they start celebrating.
They just keep on
we won
running.
the state championship. And that's right. And so the Palmyra Macedon High School team, the first base was open, but there were runners on other places, and so they just scored, and it gave them the victory. And the chaotic scene, though, both teams are wearing red, and they're very hard to tell apart from one another. So it's kind of this chaotic melee of a scene.
What a nightmare for a broadcaster.
Oh yeah, and I've heard that guy. He didn't quite know what was happening either. So there was some, at the high school level, the officials don't communicate at a very good level with broadcasters.
Well, fairly, non-existent communication, really. And that's not necessarily their fault, because sometimes it's not easy for them to. It's not like we can mic up the umpire like they've started to do. Heck, until last year before last, MLB didn't have that.
That's right. Yeah. So so when you see things happening that are out of the norm and you're responsible for depicting those things in a broadcast, it gets very challenging and difficult. And so it was a chaotic scene, and the first team, they just couldn't believe it. It was like, you mean we're losing our championship on this? We're like, we won. Like, yeah, but you didn't see it through. You didn't go. So it was kind of a weird. It would be awful to lose a championship, and then I guess if I won it that way, it would take a while for it to sink in that's how it happened. But nonetheless, so anyway, lots of postseason sport activities going on right now. Got to get to a break. You know what? I think we're going to give away the first Holiday World tickets of the season. We'll do that coming up next segment here on In the Know.
Take your remodeling project to the next level and transform an ordinary space into an extraordinary one with Masonite doors and atrium windows from Future Designs. With Masonite and Atrium, you get countless design options that give you unmatched flexibility, energy-efficient glass choices, hardware, and more. So don't just remodel, transform with Masonite doors and atrium windows built around you. Start your transformation at Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
Your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that our children's health is vitally important. Today we're talking to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about K-CHIP, the Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program.
K-CHIP is health insurance at no cost for kids up to age 19 who meet eligibility. It's designed to make sure no one falls through the cracks, because our future depends on our kids, and we must keep them healthy.
You mentioned that it's $0 for those who are eligible. How does a family qualify?
Those who qualify must meet income guidelines, but the guidelines are generous. We say if your family income is less than $60,000 or $70,000 a year, look into K-CHIP. You may qualify.
Lieutenant Governor, you've been a teacher, a basketball coach, and you're a mother, so it's easy to see why K-CHIP is so important to you.
That's right. Children have always been a big part of my life, and K-CHIP is designed to make sure all kids have health insurance.
To find out more, just search K-CHIP online. That's KCHIP.
Buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Or as we like to call it, the can't have just one deal. Mix and match a tasty McDouble sandwich, McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, or, for a limited time, any size frozen drink. Buy one, get one for $1. Now try flavors like frozen Coca-Cola, Fanta Blue Raspberry, or Fanta Wild Cherry. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather.
Could be partly sunny as we enter this afternoon. Still a risk here for a few downpours to pop. If they do develop, they will be drifting slowly to the west and then fading out. But while they're on the radar, they could produce some lightning, so be aware of that if you have plans outside. Otherwise, there is an air quality alert for the Louisville Metro for poor respiratory issues due to the pollutants that are building up all the way through midnight tonight. From the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix. K105.
Did you know lemons float, but limes sink? I would think they're so similar in construct that they would both be the same. I could see they would both sink, they would both float, but the fact that one does one and one does the other is quite a surprise.
Do we need like the ag expert tomorrow to explain that?
Probably. I think she knows all about it. By the way, today's Did You Know brought to you by our friends at ECTC's Litchfield campus. They are gearing up for their spring term, which starts on their summer term, which begins June 6th. And then if you're not hopping in on the on-ramp there, then use this summer to get ready to run headlong at continuing your education coming up in August. And so it's college for the real world right here at home. Lots of great offerings, and you'll be a better person as a result. Now, I think at some point we'll knock the rust off of the water cooler question and reintroduce it. But I'm just kind of feeling like we need to baby step our way back into the summer giveaway season. So here's what we're going to do. If you'd like to win tickets to Holiday World, text Holiday World to 270-259-6000 right now, 270-259-6000. You're just going to text the words Holiday World, and we will consider that your entry. And then at the end of the show, we'll draw a winner out of all the entrants, and they will be the winner for today. Simple, straightforward. Yes, Sam?
That works for me.
We don't have to...
Can I Google that answer?
Yes. Give it a try and see how that works. Anyway, so we'll start our summer giveaways today. I'm not asking for a lot. The hoop is very low to the ground, and it's very big. So just jump through. Text Holiday World to 270-259-6000.
We can even throw in the free parking, sunscreen, and soft drinks at Holiday World as well.
That's where they get you. The weekend box office, The Little Mermaid swims to the top as no surprise. Little Mermaid did nearly $100 million in the long holiday weekend, $95.5 million. Fast 10 at second with $23 million. Guardians 3, $20 million at number 3. Super Mario at 4, The Machine at number 5. No surprise on Little Mermaid.
Did you go? Or did Alea?
No, we haven't been. No, she's traveling otherwise, and so not been able to go. I couldn't go Friday night. You know why. And then Saturday, I had truck issues to deal with all day on Saturday, and so we'll see Little Mermaid in a few days after.
Well, luckily now that it's summer, you get a little bit more leeway as far as...
That's right, and we won't have to pre-buy tickets this way. I mean, we might, but if we'd wanted to go on Friday, we would have had to buy tickets in advance, of course. Also, many of you may be heading out to summer concert tours. Female artists have the most in-demand tours of the summer. Taylor Swift, no doubt, at number 1. Beyonce at 2. Morgan Wallen at 3. Bruce Springsteen at 4. Coldplay at 5. George Strait touring again. He's got 7 dates this summer.
Sorry, when you said I thought this was a list of females, then you threw in there Coldplay.
Yeah,
I was
odd.
like,
well, the Taylor Swift, Beyonce are at the top. You know, Taylor's got 24 tour dates, and Beyonce's got 42 dates. Metallica is on tour. Ed Sheeran is on tour. The Weeknd is on tour.
Ed Sheeran? Have you talked to UConn about that? Like, is he...
They may be working that into their summer travel
pit
plans.
tickets for him?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, they are doing pit tickets. I was reading... Oh, did you see the Astros throwing shade at the A's?
I missed.
The Astros blew out Oakland 10-1 Sunday with the 10th run coming on an Alvarez home run to dead center. The Astros tweeted tens of runs in front of tens of fans as a knock on the poor attendance for the A's games. They've all checked out, right?
Listen, I do have to be sure that I mention that, you didn't give us my chance for the Reds update that they got to sweep those good old boys from the north side of Chicago.
Oh, did they sweep the Cubs?
Yeah, they did.
Good for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So
the Yankees won big at Seattle yesterday, so that's good. Late last night, you had to stay up for it. I also ran across a list of, with the writer's strike, we're going to be seeing more reality TV because they don't require writers or are less writing intensive. The best TV reality shows of all time, The Real World at number 5. From 1992 to 2017, The Real World. So that was really kind of gave birth to reality TV and ran for a long time on MTV. Was it on MTV the entire time until 2017?
I think this might be the first time I've ever heard of that.
Oh, wow. You never heard of The Real World?
I don't believe I have.
Wow. It's kind of iconic status, so I'm not surprised that you haven't seen it. I guess I'm surprised you never heard of it.
Let me give it a Google and see if maybe seeing the...
They did different towns, so it was different. It was different 20-somethings that were cohabitating together. It was like Big Brother in different city.
I don't...
And it wasn't necessarily a
33
contest.
seasons.
Yeah. American Idol at number 4, still going 2002 to present. RuPaul's Drag Race at number 3 is what this says. The Amazing Race at number 2, and without a doubt, Survivor, the king of all reality shows, at number 1, 2000 until present.
Apparently it's coming back to The Real World.
Is it?
Paramount Plus is going to do a season of it.
Now, I read something this morning that I've got extremely mixed feelings about. Will Ferrell is being considered to play John Madden.
There's
I would have never connected those two.
I think there's one clear answer to play John Madden.
I think Frank Caliendo probably can't act. And I wonder how long he can carry on.
Goodman.
John Goodman as John Madden? I don't know.
That's the one that comes to mind for me.
Do you know Frank Caliendo?
Yeah.
I mean, he does a great Madden, but I think he can do it in short spurts. I don't think he can
act.
Right, I think that's the thing. And then in the latest musicians to sell their catalogs to investment groups, Queen is considered to be the biggest. The Queen catalog could soon be sold for an estimated $1.1 billion, according to several high-level music industry insiders. If the deal goes through, it would be the biggest single artist catalog sale in history, more than doubling the $500 million that Springsteen got in 2021.
Classic after classic after classic
that's
with
right.
Queen.
Think of the iconic status of the Queen catalog. I mean, it's bigger than Springsteen, without a doubt. But I'll be interested to see who buys that and how that works. I spent quite a bit of time over the weekend listening to Tina Turner's catalog.
Well, maybe you and UConn put your money together and get close to that?
We might come up a little short. We might need the additional $0.1 billion. But maybe we'll have to take on a silent partner.
Maybe Zach and I can come together and get you that.
That sounds good. We got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning. By the way, if you want in on the Holiday World tickets, last minute text Holiday World to 270-259-6000. Back after this on In the Know.
Jesus once told his listeners, "Out of the abundance of the heart, your mouth speaks." To understand what he meant, think of it this way. Imagine a water bottle with sediment on the bottom. While the water inside is calm, the sediment stays on the bottom and the water appears crystal clear. But when you shake the bottle, all of that sediment swirls around and the water turns cloudy. Did shaking the bottle suddenly make the water dirty? Well, of course not. The contaminant was always there. That's how it works with our character, too. When your spouse shakes you, or your children shake you, or a coworker shakes you, whatever is already inside of you is what's going to come out. If grace and patience are what you've been cultivating in your life, that's what people around you are going to get. But if anger and a short temper are what you've been cultivating, that's what the people around you are going to get. The bottom line is this. Stress and conflict don't create what's inside of you. They simply reveal what's already there. Your spouse doesn't make you say mean things or act improperly, and neither do your kids. We choose how we handle our stress and conflict. If the overflow of your heart is something other than love, joy, peace, and kindness, go to work on that inside part of you. The more good stuff you fill up with on the inside, the more that will come out when somebody shakes you. For more to help you thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
People ask me sometimes, Lance, I'm worried about my finances and I feel bad because I should be worried, right? I realize that inflation is going to be eating up money. I've got to do something to get around this crazy stock market and Biden's spending spree. Gold has, since the beginning of time, been the resource that God's people have relied on. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, is what the prophet Haggai said during a time of great shaking. To protect your retirement, I recommend that you diversify your 401k or IRA right out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with Gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, text the word DIVINE to 989898 to get a free info kit on Gold IRAs. Remember, there are no strings attached. By diversifying your retirement account into gold, your savings can be protected. Just text that word DIVINE, DIVINE, to 989898. Take action right now, and I pray that your family is blessed with continued prosperity.
Maybe you're not one of those frequent flyers, but sometimes you just want to hit the beach or see your new granddaughter or go to that out-of-state wedding. Whatever the reason for your getaway, if it involves flying in the U.S. or visiting a military base after May 7th, 2025, you'll need a Kentucky Real ID driver's license or an ID that is Real ID compliant. Make a plan to get your Kentucky Real ID now. Go to realidky.com.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that our children's health is vitally important. Today we're talking to Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman about K-CHIP, the Kentucky Children's Health Insurance Program.
K-CHIP is health insurance at no cost for kids up to age 19 who meet eligibility. It's designed to make sure no one falls through the cracks because our future depends on our kids, and we must keep them healthy.
You mentioned that it's $0 for those who are eligible. How does a family qualify?
Those who qualify must meet income guidelines, but the guidelines are generous. We say if your family income is less than $60,000 or $70,000 a year, look into K-CHIP. You may qualify.
Lieutenant Governor, you've been a teacher, a basketball coach, and you're a mother, so it's easy to see why K-CHIP is so important to you.
That's right. Children have always been a big part of my life, and K-CHIP is designed to make sure all kids have health insurance.
To find out more, just search K-CHIP online. That's KCHIP.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What outdated slang do you use on a regular basis? What outdated slang do you use on a regular basis? I'll start. I've really been critical of myself the last few years. I've identified I really need to quit saying awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Because I just do that.
Is that slang, though?
Yes, it's 80s slang. That's when it came about. Totally awesome. 1980s. Oh, that's awesome. When it's really not awesome. It's just, you're happy to hear it. So, because there are real things that are awesome, and you should reserve awesome for that. And most of the things I call awesome are not truly awesome, but it's 80s slang that I need to get rid of. I thought in your case, most of your slang has to be relatively new.
I mean, and I don't even know what slang I have as a go-to.
Okay, well, so let me give you an example. If you're still, now I will do this sometimes just to be throwback, nostalgic, funny, but if you're saying, "What's up?"
I don't.
That is outdated slang.
Yes, but I don't know that I've ever. Yeah, I mean, I get the examples. I just don't know of one that comes to mind for me.
Friends, if you're still saying tubular, we should have given that up a long time ago. Similar with Gag Me with a Spoon, and basically any Valley Girl stuff needs to have gone by the wayside long ago.
Yeah, no, I
oh yeah, I
trying to
forgot.
think. Your water cooler. Here, let me pull it up.
We got to give what?
I got to pull up the list of.
Oh, okay. So how are we going to give these away? I'll pick a number. Just tell me what range I need to pick a number.
1 to 48.
All right. Most people think 13 is unlucky, so 13.
Let me count here. If your phone number ends in 5935, you are the winner.
5935.
And just be patient. We'll reach out here in the next.
We'll tell you how you're going to get.
We'll reach out. You don't need to message us. We'll reach out and just give us a little bit of time.
On TV tonight, the Game Show on ABC. It's the season 1 finale. On NBC, the season 18 premiere. America's Got Talent. Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge on NBC. That's a series premiere. And then this is intriguing. ESPN has their 30 for 30 American Gladiators Part 1 documentary. So for my teenage years, they had that American Gladiator series that came out. I think most of the time it was on like Saturday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, these big, really iron pumpers, and they would do these weird gladiator things it was kind of intriguing.
It's like Wipeout for actual athletes.
That's right. I guess they looked like athletes, but they also looked it had a touch of WWE. They had
a little fake.
There was but there was a certain mold that the athletes needed to fit. They were all shiny. They were all tan. Seemed like most of them were blonde, right? And very strategic costumery, as I recall. Today's highlight in history. This day, 1989, student protesters in Beijing erected Goddess of Democracy statue in Tiananmen Square. In 1431, Joan of Arc, condemned as a heretic, was burned at the stake. The Lincoln Memorial was dedicated in a ceremony in Washington, D.C. this date in 1922. Babe Ruth played his last Major League Baseball game for the Boston Braves this date in 1935. Birthdays. Ted McGinley is 65. Winona Judd is 59. Adina Menzel is 52. CeeLo Green is 48 today.
It's a pretty good musician group there.
Yeah, well, forget you and forget you too.
I don't think that's how it goes.
Peter the Great, born in 1672. Mel Blanc in 1908. Man of a Thousand Voices.
Bug Bunny, right?
Yes, and Yosemite Sam, Barney Rubble. Most people don't know that he was Barney Rubble. Bonnie.
Was he Fred too?
No, he wasn't Fred. Benny Goodman in 1909. Chart toppers. Let's go to 1949. And Vaughn Monroe was number 1 with... Come on, Vaughn. Riders in the Sky. Yippee-ki-yay.
Had a couple went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged sky.
I don't know that we've ever had that on a chart topper.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Have we?
I don't know that I've ever gone back to 49. 1958, Dean Martin was number 1 with one of his classics called Return to Me. Return to me. Return to me. From the album Italian Love Songs. I think you probably have that in your collection, Sam.
I think I loaned it to UConn.
You have that playlist on your iPod?
On my shuffle?
On your shuffle. 1967, Aretha, number 1. With Respect.
What you want, baby, I got.
Okay. Let's go to 1976. The Silver Connection, number 1. This one called Get Up and Boogie. That's all you get.
Oh, I can't boogie much with that.
Really, because I want to get to this from Beverly Hills Cop. 1985. Harold Faltermeyer and Axel F. Wicked. You heard it everywhere you went in the summer of 85. You could not escape it.
Can't say I remember that.
You could not. All right. Then we had I Swear All for One in 94. Rock Your Body, Justin Timberlake was number 1 in 03. In 2012, Flo Rida featuring Sia was number 1 with Wild Ones. And I got to be able to work Dua Lipa into the show today in 2021.
Passing on some real good ones
Dua
there.
Lipa was levitating today. So. All right. MB's Proloism for today. Says, a friend may be waiting behind a stranger's face. A friend may be waiting behind a stranger's face. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin